Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, Jaime Munguia defeats John Ryder by stopping him in the 9th round, and quite frankly, Munguia put a beating on John Ryder. And as far as I'm concerned, this is Munguia's best career performance to date. Felt he looked very good in spots in this fight. And the issue with Munguia has long since been a lot of fight fans are impatient with his career progression, let's say. He hasn't taken the fights that fight fans want to see. I think Munguia is one of those cases where he won his world title way too early before he was ready. I don't think he had any business holding a title back then at 154. He should have always been taking slight step-ups, learning fights, etc. But when you become a champion, expectations naturally rise. And I think that's been Munguia's biggest problem. I think winning that world title way back when was a bit of a... I don't think it was necessarily good for him, to be honest, in terms of managing expectations from fight fans. But regardless, that aside, I believe that Munguia in the last few years has developed quite nicely. I've seen a guy who's been getting better. Don't get me wrong, there are flaws there defensively, lack of head movement, things like that. There are obvious flaws with Jaime Munguia, but in recent years I have seen improvements. It started with Eric Morales, who was training Munguia for a little while, for quite a few fights. I felt his jab improved under Morales. I also felt he looked more fluid in throwing combinations under Morales, and his straight punches got better in my opinion. He then left Morales recently to join Freddie Roach, and I was a little concerned with that. I actually liked what Morales was doing with Munguia, but however, his first fight with Freddie Roach, he looked really good. If Freddie Roach has got one last sort of run in him as a trainer, and he can add to Munguia, that could be a good partnership. As we know, Freddie Roach specialises in working with offensive fighters. If he can add a few things to Munguia, then it could be a fruitful partnership. And yes, in this fight with John Ryder, I felt this was the best Munguia's looked. In the first 4 rounds, he was dominating John Ryder, for my money. He came out, was quite aggressive early on, but he was boxing behind the jab. He was applying front foot pressure, but he was doing it behind the jab, and he was following up with a long straight right hand, but he was varying the straight right hand. He was going down to the solar plexus with it, which was a very effective shot in this fight for Munguia, and he was also going to the head. His straight punches were the most effective in this fight, more so than his hooks to body, hooks to head, uppercuts, etc. It was his straight punches that were doing the damage. He was getting his distancing right against Ryder. He wasn't falling too far in while he was moving forwards. He was measuring with the jab, again coming through with a straight right hand. First 4 rounds, he did a really good job of pressuring from the outside while maintaining range. And he dropped John Ryder twice in the first 4 rounds. Second round, he dropped him with a sort of a shorter straight right hand in an exchange, bang on the chin. Ryder wasn't hurt that badly, to be honest. He was kind of caught off balance, but it was a knockdown. Same thing happened again in round 4. Off balance, Ryder is caught in the exchange with a jab. Goes down, not hurt that badly. But good timing by Munguia, good accuracy. First 4 rounds, Munguia all on top. He also won round 5, in my opinion. But one thing I noticed after the 4th round, Munguia was starting to fall in a little more. He was starting to get a little too close to John Ryder. That allowed John Ryder to smother, to hold, to get his right hook into play. Munguia got caught by a couple of right hooks in round 5, a couple of body shots. He was getting a little too close to John Ryder in round 5. He still won the round though. Rounds 6 and 7 though, Ryder won those rounds. He was in round 6. He gave Munguia a little bit of lateral movement. He was popping Munguia with the jab, rocked his head back a couple of times, again getting the right hook into play, couple of straight left hands through the guard of Munguia. picking his spots, picking his moments, little more movement from John Ryder. Round 7 as well, Munguia didn't really do much in round 7, didn't really throw many punches. Maybe he was conserving his energy. That allowed John Ryder to win round 7, in my opinion. Round 8 was a really good round. Munguia once again turned up the heat, doing what he was doing well in the first 4 rounds, pressuring behind the straight punches from the outside, catching John Ryder on the end of those shots, hurts John Ryder in round 8, puts a barrage of punches on John Ryder. John Ryder soaks it up really well, shows good heart, shows good toughness, takes a few shots. Munguia's looking for a stoppage, and then Ryder catches Munguia being too aggressive, caught him with a right hook coming in, and that kind of quelled Munguia's aggression for the rest of the round, kind of put Munguia in his place for a short moment. I don't think Munguia was like badly hurt or anything, but he felt the shot, so he was more circumspect for the rest of round 8. Round 9 was where the fight ended though. Munguia started aggressively once again pressuring from the outside, caught John Ryder with a long right hand, which drops him. That's about 20 seconds into round 9. Ryder manages to beat the count, but he's on unsteady legs. The third knockdown in this fight, Ryder was definitely hurt badly. Unlike the first 2 knockdowns where, yeah, he got dropped, but Ryder never looked hurt. The third knockdown in round 9, Ryder was definitely buzzed. But he gets up, he tries to fight on, he tries to throw the right hook while Munguia is trying to finish him. But Munguia then drops Ryder again for the 4th time. Once again, Ryder beats the count, but he's done at this point. The referee allows him to continue. But, you know, Munguia jumps on him, lands a few more punches. Then John Ryder's trainer jumps in to stop the fight. Good stoppage by Ryder's trainer. Ryder had nothing left at that point, in my opinion. Dropped 4 times, 9 rounds of action. Yeah, Munguia was getting on top, no doubt about it. And he was in charge of this fight throughout, apart from like rounds 6 and 7. And even then, it wasn't like John Ryder was having any crazy success. He was just doing enough to win those rounds. But a good win for Munguia, in my opinion. He now moves to 43-0, I believe. Quite an impressive record. I mentioned earlier, you know, the first world title reign came way too soon for Munguia. I think vacating that title and going to his natural weight has helped Munguia. He's had fights where he's learned, like the Rosado fight, like the Derevyanchenko fight, like this Ryder fight. I think he's learned. I think he's got better since he's vacated that title. I think he picked up some bits from Eric Morales, and now he's with Freddie Roach. We'll see what Freddie can do with Munguia. But yeah, I see Munguia as an improving fighter. I do think he's getting better. Again, there are still some obvious defensive flaws. I get it. The guy's never going to be Pernell Whitaker, but he's improving on what he does do well, in my opinion, which is aggression, punch output, etc. And he's carrying power still. So yeah, Munguia's looking good. I think right now, I think now is the time for a step up, to be honest. I'm talking about anybody at 168, really. Any of the elite guys, Benavidez, Morel, Canelo. Why not at this stage? Why not? I actually think this guy's going to be more competitive than people expect. I'm not saying he beats these guys, by the way, don't get it twisted, but I think he'll give all of these guys problems just due to his aggression, his output. He's got decent power. I think he'll give all of these guys problems at 68. But yeah, a good win by Munguia. We'll see where he goes from here. I know they have Edgar Berlanga on DAZN. I know Berlanga's got a fight coming up soon. You would imagine he will win that fight against Podre McGrory. I have heard rumours of Berlanga versus Munguia. Have to be honest, I think Munguia would go through Berlanga like a doorway. I think he would destroy Berlanga, to be honest with you. Much better fighter, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, listen, I've always liked Munguia. I understand the frustration with his career. But like I said, I think it's down to the fact that, in my opinion, he won the world title way too early. He was still in need of a lot of development. And that's never nice. That's never good to see when you see a fighter who's got a title, but he's still basically a prospect. But he's not anymore. He's a contender, and now is the time for him to take these big fights against fellow contenders or champions. Anyway, I was impressed with Munguia. I felt he performed well. I still think he's getting better. Share your thoughts below. What did you think of this fight? Peace.